For those of you who are looking at this and saying, what the hell does this guy have on? This is actually a tanker jacket. And most individuals who've been in the military for quite some time know exactly what this is. You're welcome for being able to look at my fashion sense. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, or if you're here for the first time, welcome to Let's Talk Finances. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Trey. I'm a United States Army Special Operations Forces member, and I am waging war on debt. And on this channel, I specifically dedicate my time in helping you get out of debt, reach financial independence so that you can ultimately begin building wealth. So if that's something you're interested in, stop procrastinating and subscribe to this channel where I'll be giving you the step-by-step guides on how to get out of debt and become a millionaire. In the world of investing, you're pretty much going to become very familiar with the term the S&P 500. For those of you who do not know what the S&P 500 exemplifies, it actually is the benchmark for 500 of the most successful companies in the United States. But why is this relevant to us investors? When you're investing, what you would like to be able to do is minimize your risk while maximizing your return on investment. And if you find a fund that allows you to be able to do this, then you found a very good fund, my friend. That's exactly what Fidelity's S&P 500 index fund does. For those of you who don't quite understand what an index fund is, I went over that in this video, so go and watch that one after this. Fidelity's S&P 500 index fund, ticker symbol FXAIX, is by far one of the best index funds that you can absolutely begin investing in to round your portfolio. As a matter of fact, it's one that I always recommend to people who are wanting to start investing but have no idea on what to begin investing with. Let's go ahead and do a breakdown of Fidelity's S&P 500 index fund. Now, this particular fund covers about 80% of the investable market. It has about $288 billion in assets. Its 1-year return to date is 18.40%. Its 5-year return, 15.21%. And its 10-year return is 13.87%. Now, this one is considered to be a large cap holding, but let's go into the 4 main reasons you should be looking at making a fund like this one your core holding. The first reason that people tend to gravitate towards this one in particular is because of its attractive returns. The average return today for an index fund is right at about 10%. And if you look at the average for this one between a 1 to 5 year return, it's averaging about 14%, which is awesome. One thing that we do know about the S&P 500 is that yes, it can be a little bit volatile, but the market always fixes itself. For an example, if you look at the current COVID pandemic and when it first sparked, I was actually in Afghanistan when this happened. People were going haywire. You would lose a little bit, but the market always fixes itself. With the S&P 500 index fund, it is very awesome because it can withstand volatility. Let's go into 3 reasons that this fund is actually very awesome. The first reason, it's very broadly diversified. We know that this fund invests in 500 of the largest and most successful companies in the United States. And because of this, when you're talking about losing money, these 500 companies would all have to tank at the same time in order for you to significantly lose money. But there are always risks that you assume when you're investing. The second reason, as I just stated, is that it can very, very much so withstand volatility. In any type of investing, you know that your gains are going to be subject to the market. And in this particular instance, the S&P 500 has a very proven track record to be able to withstand volatility. For instance, I've heard a lot of my clients within the last week state, hey, Should I be selling my funds because there's going to be an up and coming crash of the market and the S&P 500 was down by 3.6% in the last week? Should I sell? I don't sell anything ever. The market will always fix itself, and again, the S&P 500 has a track record of having a strong ability to withstand volatility. The last thing is that it seeks to track or match the S&P 500. Now, I want to also specify, it does not seek to beat the S&P 500. It seeks to track the S&P 500. In order to beat the market, you would actually need to do speculative investing. In this video, if you don't know the difference between an actively managed fund or a passively managed or index fund versus a speculative investing strategy, I go over that in this video. So watch that one after this one. The second reason that the S&P 500 index fund is so popular is because of its ability to diversify your portfolio. In this particular instance, as stated previously, you'll be invested in 500 of the largest and most successful companies in the United States. No better way to diversify than in doing so. The third reason is because your risk is so low. Listen, it's an awesome thing that you can put your money into something that's almost guaranteed to grow with assuming the most minimal amounts of risk. And the reason that this one is so minimal in its risk factor is because it's so widely diversified. It invests in 500 of the largest companies. The fourth reason in this particular instance is because of low costs. This one in particular has a very low expense ratio, which is 0.015%. For you beginner investors that wants a very good fund to begin investing with, I highly recommend Fidelity's S&P 500 Index Fund. This should be your core large cap index fund to begin investing with. I'm going to do you an additional and list out the top 10 holdings for Fidelity's 500 Index Fund. Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google, Berkshire Hathaway, Johnson & Johnson, JP Morgan, and Visa. This fund's top 10 holdings make up about 26.90% of its structural makeup. So what does this mean? It is market cap weighted. The top 10 holdings makes up a very large portion of this particular fund. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, that would depend on your investment strategy. In my opinion, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You're not going to go wrong with investing in FXAIX. Now, I've heard others ask the question, well, should I only be investing in this particular fund or should I add more? When we're talking about investing, more isn't always better. But what you will tend to see are majority of investors are going to have a very basic and foundational layout for their investment strategy. It's either going to consist of this S&P 500 index fund on its own, or they may add some small and mid-cap exposure as well. For the sake of this video, if your questions are, I want to invest but I don't quite know which one to start investing with, look no further. Fidelity's S&P 500 Index Fund is the premier fund that you should start investing. For those of you who are interested in joining a group that not only has interest in getting out of debt, reaching financial independence, but also building wealth, go ahead and head over to Facebook and join the Let's Talk FIRE Facebook group. It is growing rapidly. It is also where you can ask a multitude of questions so that other people can answer those questions who are on a similar journey as you are. If you've enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. In addition, go ahead and smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Not only does it help this channel to grow, but it also helps me in continuing making videos like this to spread awareness in how to begin building wealth. Lastly, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any other content just like this one. As always, I want to thank the men and women who serve this great country of ours and who have served this country of ours. I appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart, as I'm sure we all do. So until the next video, guys, let's talk finances then.